channel, Every Day I'm Mothering. We went on a 7-day cruise on the Disney Fantasy, and it was actually a Halloween of the High Seas cruise to the Eastern Caribbean. Today we're going to be talking about some of the secrets, the tips, the hacks that you really wish we would have known before the cruise or figured them out a lot sooner. So these aren't just the typical tips that you see. We're really going to be getting detailed. It might almost be too detailed for some people, but these are the things specifically what really helped us and the things that you really need to know. So in this video, we're going to be looking at before the cruise, like booking, tips, things to pack, specifically some things you'll want to join and do beforehand. And then once you're actually on the cruise, we're going to be talking about a couple different categories, like the day of, some activities, food, room tips, and then some general tips and hacks that we've learned that made the trip a lot easier. A very special hack that you do not want to miss about character meet and greets. It will save you a lot of time and potential temper tantrums, so make sure you stick to the end to see that. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will be doing a comparison with Royal Caribbean Cruise coming up soon, so you don't want to miss that if you're also thinking about doing that cruise, specifically in comparison to Disney. This video could get a little long, so we better just jump right in. If you don't know about Disney, you will be able to book in a window based on your category, like if you've cruised before, how many times you cruise. A little stressful about Disney is racing feeling where you have to watch when your booking window opens, you run. You want to be there the minute it opens. Seems very competitive about what you can book, when you can book, if you're going to miss out. So automatically it kind of builds that stress level and people get really anxious about it. I've seen some feedback that it kind of sets a negative tone for some of the parents, especially first-time cruisers that feel like they're missing out. And it was very stressful for us as well. So as much as we can, we want to help you with that process. The first tip, have both parents or whoever's going on the cruise have it open at the same time. It'll go faster. That way you're both looking at it. And it is easier, we found, to go through the website instead of the app. It's laid out easier for you to see the days and activities. Something we wish we would have known beforehand is the order of things that you want to try to book because of how fast they go. We knew Bippity Boppity was really important to our girls, so we booked that first thing, but Bippity Boppity did not fill up. There were openings all the way almost up until the cruise. I wish we would not have done that first. The thing that you want to try to get, if you're interested, is the brunch. As that was gone before our booking even opened, but if you can, try to grab that. Next thing, our recommendation would be the Disney Junior breakfast. Wouldn't you think? Yeah, that filled up really quickly. Yeah, and our girls loved it. It was probably the highlight of the trip activities that we did. So the breakfast, frozen meet and greet, and the princess gathering, those both booked up pretty quickly, but don't stress if you can't get them. We didn't get them, and there were plenty once you got on board. It might seem contradictory, but we would recommend booking as much as you can together, like on the same day, get it out of the way, get it done. We really felt like we were having to look at the clock, like we were on a schedule. Absolutely. Yeah, because we had something booked, I would say pretty much every day. Yeah. Right? So you're having to plan your day around when you have to be at these places. It's all done, and that way you can just relax and enjoy the time you have. Yeah. If you can, do your Disney Junior breakfast, do your Frozen, do the princesses all together at the beginning. They're done, they're out of the way, you don't have to think about them. The nursery is amazing. It was, when you think. Yes. We were very nervous about the nursery. We don't typically use a babysitter, so I had a lot of anxiety. I'm a stay-at-home mom. If you watch the channel, you know that. So I was very nervous about our, what was she then? 15 month? She's 15 months then, I think. 15, 16 months. But it was awesome. She, cried a little bit for the most part though. The women were amazing with her. They would recognize her if we saw them around the ship. They would even recognize her sisters looking like her and say, you must be Emmeline's sisters. Yeah. I was blown away by them. And we went ahead, we scheduled as much as we could, because we could always cancel. Do it during your meal. We took her, I think, for the first 30 or 15 minutes or 30 minutes of most of our dinners, and you would run her down. But they were phenomenal. It was absolutely, there's a little bit of a charge, but it was money very well spent, and don't feel guilty about it. Just the girls had fun.
Emmeline had a blast there. She loved them. So just really take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think it's what, $9 an hour,
maybe, yeah.
So we would plan it so it would be an hour at dinner, and like I said, we would capitalize on that like 15-30 minutes beforehand, take her, and then for the most part we were always done right at time to go get her. I don't think that we were ever told that they were full.
No.
So you can drop them off whenever you want and get some time for yourselves. Our kids love the kids club.
Yep.
They wanted to go all the time, so take advantage of it. But back to our tip for booking. Book as much as you can. Take the dinner times first. If you're going to be doing any of the excursions and you want to do that, get those, because those will book up. We weren't really comfortable doing the nursery when we were going to be on excursion off the ship, with the exception of Castaway Cay. We did use the nursery there. It was great. I wish we would have done it sooner, and we'll talk about that later about being on the cruise, but if you're going to Castaway Cay, I would recommend booking some time then as well. We did early dining time. We just assumed we have kids, that's what's going to be best. We need to do that. They won't make it to late dining. Midway through the cruise, we were really wishing we would have done late dining. The reason for that, you were able to eat. Kids are not necessarily going to be starving, but when you have to be at dinner at, I want to say it's 5:30 or 6. You have to have, like an hour to get ready, especially if you've been in the pool. Got pictures you want to do beforehand, especially if you got the photo package. There are characters. So you're really talking maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours before dinner that you're going to have to be stopping what you're doing, going and getting ready, going to get pictures. That really cuts into your day. And then the kids were up anyway after dinner. They were doing kids club. They were doing activities.
Right.
So if we had done late dining, it would have been, I feel like, less rushed for us. We felt like we were constantly running, let's go get dressed. Especially when you're talking pirate night, Halloween night. It seemed like we were constantly getting dressed and getting ready.
Yeah.
So I would suggest, really think about late dining. Even with kids, we will be doing that in the future. For booking, get the photo package. It is well worth it. We took so many pictures, and we don't necessarily always take a lot of family pictures. And moms, if you're like me, you're always behind the camera usually, and there's not a lot of proof of mom in the pictures. So for us, it was great. We had that photo. We took every advantage of it. We went to almost all the backdrops. Then there were some that we would just take with the girls. I would just do with the girls. They came around, they got dinner pictures. We got all the character pictures. And when you also have a baby that I'm trying to run down, put the baby, run back to try to get out of the picture, make her happy and not cry. We're not ones to usually spend money on packages and things like that, but I'm really glad on this specific cruise that we did. I don't know that we would with another line, but with all of the Disney characters and all that, definitely. Then the last thing we'll talk about for booking is your excursion. We did the Kentucky tour in St. Thomas. It was amazing. I highly recommend that excursion.
The people were great. The boat, it was a glass bottom boat. So they open it up, you can see the reef, all the fish. The girls loved that. You can feed the fish.
So that was a great excursion, but don't feel like you have to do the excursions through Disney. For our other port, we actually just hopped off and got a taxi and took it to one of the beaches. I don't even know what he charged us, because it wasn't the same going there and back. Was it even $20?
Not even. It was...
Yeah, I don't even think it was $20 for the 5 of us. And he dropped us off. We were at this beach, and I think there were maybe 2 other families there from Disney, and we rode back with one of them. Cheap, it was easy. We stayed as long as we wanted. It was the perfect amount for us. If you're looking for ways to try to save some money, because excursions can really add up, don't be scared. Definitely look at just doing something like that. They're all waiting out at the port for you. Super easy. You can do that, no problem.
It was great. There were a lot of they stopped, really good views, take pictures. This is going to get cut anyway.
One of the best things about Disney is that sense of community and the excitement that really builds before the cruise. So go on Facebook, find your group page. You will have one. Ours was amazing. It was so active, a lot of activities beforehand, and it was so much fun on the cruise. You want to tell what the favorite part of it was?
Well,
the favorite activity?
The best part of this was that there was an open bar night. A lot of people we've been chatting with. It was a really great experience, and it was free booze. So that was a big bonus.
Not free booze, but it was only, I think it was like $18 a person, and it was basically open bar. A drink every 10 minutes, taking advantage of that open bar. But for $18, it was great, and that's something that you usually can only do through a Facebook group like that if it's planned. The thing that you'll find on the Facebook group are fish extender groups. If you don't know what a fish extender is, It's usually something you hang outside your door and you sign up in your Facebook group. There's different kinds. And so I think you got like maybe 7 other cabins. So you had to buy something for those 7 cabins, and then they would all buy something for you. And so when you came back at night, the kids would love to go look in their little packets and see what was in there. And then of course you go and you deliver. Tip, don't do what we did. We delivered it by floor, and we went up and down, back and forth on those floors. So go through the aft, go over and go through the forward, and it will be a lot faster than doing what we did.
Yeah, we definitely got our steps in that night.
When you go, you'll see all the doors are decorated with magnets and the fish extenders. So do that, do the magnet. If you're not creative with the magnets, there is a Facebook group where they post like the images that you can just download and do. But the magnets are super simple to make. I just came up with, some of these are from the group, and then some I came up with just like some super easy little designs. I found them, and you can just go and add them. I had a silhouette, but you could do, I mean, really just on Word. Print them out. You can put them on laminator. You can see we did like our family one. Just stick some little magnets on the back. You can get like a roll of tape of magnets and just stick them on there. And we just made like some little fun ones for the girls, and they loved it. And most of the rooms will have it, so you don't want yours to look bare and sad. So do a couple magnets. The thing I would recommend is to build excitement with your family about this cruise. So we watched tons of family vlogs with our kids. We'd make it like a ritual on a Sunday morning. We might get like donuts or something and sit down and watch one day of a family vlog. And it just really got the kids excited about it. They're looking forward to it, and they loved seeing other kids doing these activities. Here you can see ours. We'll have the link here. You can check out ours. It's not a traditional vlog. We weren't really vlogging then, but you can see like our compilation of some of the fun stuff that we did on the cruise. When you're watching those vlogs or when you're watching tips like this, make a list of the things that you're hearing, that you're seeing, that you want to do. Take that list with you and check it, because it is so easy when you're on that cruise to get caught up all.
Absolutely.
And you forget to do stuff you want to do. We're kicking ourselves that we're not doing some of the things we want to do. Like the ice cream store, we went through it once. We meant to go back and get ice cream. We didn't. We just completely forgot. Never did play putt-putt. We didn't even go see some of the different activities on some of the floors that we had meant to. So things like that you think you're gonna do, it just gets so hectic that you forget. If there's certain things you wanna see, certain things you wanna order, treats, it goes by so fast, and it's so easy to forget them. So just make a quick little checklist of these things you know you wanna do. Double check it like 2 days before the end of the cruise, and make sure you did all those things. Moving on to packing tips. There are videos out there dedicated purely to packing. I recommend watching those. But there are a few things that we purchased that we thought were so useful that we wanted to just briefly include those here. We'll have links to everything below, whether it's Amazon, Etsy, whatever, just in case you want to check out these things we're talking about. The first thing, packing cubes. Yep. I did not see the hype in them. I'm like, whatever, it's just a bag. It is so useful when you have different like legs of your vacation. So we were going to be flying in, staying the night before at a hotel, which you should do, so you don't have to worry about that. And then also we added some Disney days to the end. So for us, having packing cubes that were just for that night at the hotel and the next day and just for Disney made it so much more organized on the ship. We could just pick out those cubes, put them aside. For the actual room, some things that were very useful: magnetic hooks, big hanging pouches like shoe pouches.
Miscellaneous sundries that you would keep in there is really easy to grab on the way out the door.
And then also something random, but that someone had recommended to me, was a door stopper alarm. So apparently it's, fairly common from the people that I saw comment that their kids get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and they open the wrong door and they end up in the hallway and the door shuts behind them. It's dark, they're not used to it. And they're knocking to get back in and the parents can't hear them. So people had the front desk being called or strangers finding them and having to be told their child was locked outside or asleep in the hallway. And how scary is that? So people have recommended getting these little door stoppers, and if your door moves, it sets off an alarm. So you would know if your child had accidentally opened that outside door. And then if you're nervous about the balcony door, you could put it on there, but it has a lock, so it's not really a problem. But something you don't really think about, but they're not expensive. Take them, just that peace of mind, knowing that that's even a possibility and something I could completely see happening. Other things you'll want to think about taking: water bottles, straws. I will link the straws down below specifically that we use. I can't stand paper straws that dissolve in your mouth, and that's all they had on the cruise, but we don't want to use plastic either. So we found these amazing plant-based straws. They feel just like plastic straws, bend, they don't dissolve, they come in a big box. We took a bunch with us. So a water camera, some of the best pictures we had on our excursions were from our water camera, like a little, it's not a GoPro, but it's that type of camera, and we'll link it below. Kids loved using it. It was super clean.
We'd ride it on the aqueduct. We took it to the beach. We took it in the water. It was great. Some
water shoes with you, especially if you have a baby or a toddler. That splash pad area is super slick. Even with water shoes, it's still slick. But if they don't have some on, like our baby was just falling like constantly. Like, it's padded, it's soft, but it was hard for her to stand up and really move in there. So after that, we brought the water shoes, and it was better. To bring some lanyards if it is your first cruise, so you can hold your key card. Also got some for the girls, like this little Disney princess. They loved having theirs too. They don't necessarily need it, but they liked having it. And we kept in it cards we ordered off Etsy, and you can see, let me see if it'll focus for you. It's a directory of everything on the ship. When you're just getting used to where everything is and you're constantly getting lost like we were, these were
the bars are all listed very clearly on what deck, forward, aft.
We got this little card just to put in to help turn on your lights, and you can leave it in your room, but it's just kind of a neat, cute thing. So
on that, you want to keep this in because when you leave the room, you're supposed to take your card out, and it also turns off the air conditioner. So if you keep a card in there, or an old gift card, it'll keep the air conditioner running while you're out. So it'll be nice and cool when you get back.
Another thing that you'll want to purchase, or you'll want to make sure you take with kids, are autograph books. So we got these two little ones for our girls, different colors, and we kept Sharpie in it. Have these ready with you. Just keep them in a little bag with you at all times because the characters are always out and about. And of course, like, we missed one character because we did not have our autograph books, and we happened to see that one. And then as far as packing for clothes, just a note with your kids, even potty trained kids, like our kids are potty trained, we do not have issues, especially with our oldest, but they are so exhausted on this cruise. They're staying up longer. They are just dead to the world when they're asleep. You might have some accidents. We were not expecting it, and we did have an accident, unfortunately. Room attendant was amazing about it, and our daughter felt so bad. But I mean, it happens, especially, I mean, think about how tired they are and how much is going on in that deep sleep. So pack some extra PJs, maybe even some pull-ups if you think, hey, it might happen, but it might not be a bad idea. We ended up having so much information for you all with these tips and tricks that we decided to break this into 2 parts. So make sure to click the link here so you can watch part 2 and get our tips and tricks for while you're on the Disney cruise.